Imagine a world untouched by time, where the sun rises over endless plains, and the air hums with the sounds of survival, grunts of hunters, crackling fires, and the distant roars of megafauna. It's 20,000 years ago, deep in the Pleistocene, where early humans fought not just for food, but for power, territory, and survival. In this untamed era, conflicts between tribes were raw, visceral, and shaped the very roots of our societies. But what happened to those caught in the crossfire? Today, we're diving into a forgotten perspective, the lives of women captives in prehistoric tribal conflicts. Their stories, etched in the bones of the earth, reveal a complex tapestry of survival, resilience, and unexpected humanity. Buckle up for a journey into the heart of our ancient past, where every choice could mean life or death. Stay with us, because these stories will change how you see our origins. Let's step back to a time when humanity was young, scattered across vast landscapes in small, tight-knit tribes. These weren't the sprawling societies of today, but bands of 20 to 50 people, hunters, gatherers, and storytellers, who lived by the rhythm of the seasons. Picture a world of towering mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and endless forests. Tribes competed fiercely for resources, fertile hunting grounds, water sources, or caves for shelter. When disputes erupted, they didn't negotiate with treaties. They clashed with spears, clubs, and raw courage. In these conflicts, captives were often taken. Men, women, and children could find themselves torn from their kin, thrust into the heart of a rival tribe. But what makes this story gripping isn't just the violence. It's the surprising ways these captives, especially women, were shaped by their new worlds. Unlike modern assumptions of brutality, prehistoric tribes often had complex customs for handling captives, blending pragmatism with cultural values. Let's explore this through a fictional lens, grounded in archaeological insights to bring the past to life. Close your eyes and picture a prehistoric camp at twilight, where the glow of a communal fire dances on faces painted with ochre. The air is thick with the scent of roasting meat and the murmurs of a tribe bound by survival. Here, in the heart of the Upper Paleolithic, every member had a role. Hunters tracked bison, gatherers harvested roots, and elders wove tales of the stars. But when rival tribes clashed over a sacred spring or a herd's migration path, the aftermath wasn't just bloodshed. Captives, especially women, became threads in the fabric of tribal life. Some were seen as gifts from the spirits, their skills or lineage strengthening the group. Others faced suspicion, their every move watched by wary eyes. These moments of integration or rejection shaped the tribe's future, as new voices joined their songs or sparked tensions that echoed through generations. This primal pulse, connection, conflict, and adaptation, reveals the roots of human society, where captives weren't just survivors, but catalysts for change. In prehistoric times, tribes were small, and survival depended on numbers. A tribe with too few hunters or gatherers risked starvation or extinction. Captives then weren't just trophies, they were potential assets. Archaeological evidence, like isotopic studies of ancient bones, suggests that people moved between groups, sometimes forcibly, sometimes willingly. Women in particular were valued for their ability to contribute to the tribe's future. They could gather food, craft tools, and crucially bear children to strengthen the group. But it wasn't just about labor. Many tribes believed in spiritual bonds, where adopting an outsider could bring new strength or favor from the spirits. Women captives, especially young ones, were often integrated into the tribe through adoption or marriage. This wasn't always a gentle process. Grief, fear, and resistance were real, but it could lead to surprising outcomes. Let's meet a fictional character, Lyra, to see how this might have played out. In a valley nestled between two great rivers, Lyra's tribe, the Stone Shapers, thrived on hunting bison and weaving intricate baskets from river reeds. One dawn, a rival tribe, the Firekeepers, raided their camp. Lyra, barely 16 winters old, was dragged away as her family's cries faded into the wind. Her world shattered, she expected death. Instead, the Firekeepers had other plans. Lyra was brought to their camp, a sprawling settlement of hide tents and fire pits. The tribe's leader, a woman named Kara, saw potential in Lyra's nimble hands and sharp eyes. Rather than enslavement, Lyra was adopted into Kara's family. She was taught to craft flint blades and sing the Firekeepers' songs to the stars. Over time, Lyra's fear gave way to belonging. She married a hunter, Torin, and her children grew up as Firekeepers, their laughter echoing in the camp. This story, while fictional, mirrors patterns seen in anthropological studies. Tribes like the Natufians in the Levant around 12,000 years ago showed signs of integrating outsiders, possibly captives, into their communities. Women's roles were pivotal. Their skills and offspring strengthened the group, but not every captive story was so smooth. Not all captives found acceptance. Some faced grueling labor or harsh treatment. Imagine another woman, Sura, captured during a raid by a tribe struggling to survive a harsh winter. Sura was forced to haul wood and grind seeds under the watchful eyes of her captors. Her spirit burned with defiance. She carved secret symbols of her old tribe into the dirt, dreaming of escape. One night she fled, only to be recaptured and punished with isolation. Yet even in her suffering, Sura's resilience inspired others, sparking whispers of rebellion among the captives. This darker narrative reflects archaeological hints of conflict, like skeletal remains showing signs of violence or malnutrition in some ancient groups. While many tribes had codes against excessive cruelty, especially toward women, seen as vital to the tribe's future, hardship was a reality for some. The balance between integration and exploitation varied by tribe and circumstance. In the shadow of jagged mountains, prehistoric tribes gathered for the great hunts, chasing herds of aurochs or reindeer across windswept plains. These weren't just quests for food, they were tests of courage, unity, and survival. But when rival tribes crossed paths, the hunt could turn deadly. A clash over a prime hunting ground might end with captives taken, their fates tied to the tribe's needs. Women captives, often skilled in tracking or preparing hides, brought new knowledge to their captors. Some were welcomed as sisters, their hands stained with the same berry dyes as their new kin. Others faced distrust, their foreign ways sparking fear of curses or betrayal. These encounters, born in the heat of the hunt, shaped tribal identities. A captive's skill with a bone needle or her tales of distant stars could bridge divides, weaving her into the tribe's story. Yet, the scars of capture lingered, a reminder that even in survival's dance, humanity's choices, kindness or cruelty, define the path forward. Why did women captives often receive special treatment? In prehistoric tribes, women were more than just laborers, they were life-givers. A woman who bore children ensured the tribe's survival, especially in harsh environments where infant mortality was high. Ethnographic parallels, like studies of later hunter-gatherer societies, suggest women were prized for their knowledge of plants, healing, and crafting. A captive woman who proved her worth could rise to a respected role, sometimes even marrying a leader. This wasn't universal, though. Some tribes, pressed by scarcity, treated captives as commodities, trading them for tools or food. Ransom systems likely existed, with captives exchanged for resources like obsidian blades or rare shells, as seen in trade networks across ancient Europe and Asia. Yet coercion was rare. Tribes valued loyalty, and forcing a captive to stay often backfired. Adoption was a powerful ritual in many prehistoric tribes. A captive woman might be welcomed into a family through ceremonies involving shared meals, storytelling, or body markings like tattoos. These rituals weren't just symbolic, they signaled a new identity. For example, a young woman named Vena, captured by a coastal tribe, might receive a shell necklace, marking her as one of their own. Over time, she could become a storyteller, weaving her old tribe's myths into her new home's lore. Marriage was another path to integration. A chief might offer his son to a captive woman, cementing alliances or rewarding a warrior. These unions weren't always romantic, but they could forge deep bonds. Vena's marriage to a fisherman, for instance, might have started as a duty, but grown into a partnership as they faced the sea's dangers together. The stories of Lyra, Sura, and Vena, though fictional, echo the resilience of early humans. Captives faced unimaginable challenges, loss of family, culture, and freedom, yet many adapted, finding ways to thrive in alien worlds. This adaptability is a cornerstone of human survival. From the Neanderthals who interbred with Homo sapiens to the diverse cultures of the Upper Paleolithic, our ancestors' ability to blend, learn, and grow shaped our species. Prehistoric tribes weren't monolithic. Some were brutal, others compassionate. The treatment of captives reflects this complexity. While modern narratives often paint ancient life as savage, archaeological evidence, like communal burials or shared toolmaking, suggests a deep sense of community, even for outsiders. Women captives, in particular, highlight this duality. They could be both victims and vital contributors. Exploited yet revered, these ancient stories hold a mirror to our world. How do we treat outsiders today? Refugees, migrants, or those displaced by conflict face similar struggles. Uprooted, they must navigate new cultures while holding on to their identities. The prehistoric lens reminds us that humanity has always grappled with balancing survival and compassion. Perhaps we can learn from tribes that chose integration over isolation, seeing outsiders not as threats, but as potential kin. To make this vivid, let's draw on archaeological parallels that feel real, even if we're imagining the details. Around 15,000 years ago, in what's now southern France, a woman's skeleton was found buried with tools typically associated with men, spear points and bone needles. Was she a captive who earned a warrior's status? Her burial suggests respect, perhaps earned through skill or courage. Her story could mirror Lyra's, a woman who turned captivity into leadership. Another example comes from the Gravettian culture, around 25,000 years ago. A child's burial in Italy included ornaments from distant regions, hinting at trade or captivity. Perhaps this child, like a prehistoric Cynthia Ann Parker, was taken young and raised as kin, her grave adorned with love by her adoptive tribe. These glimpses show that captives could reshape their destinies, leaving marks on the archaeological record. Finally, consider a mass grave in Germany, dated to 7,000 years ago, where some skeletons showed signs of violence, but others were buried with care. Were the latter captives who became family? Their bones tell a story of conflict, but also of reconciliation, much like Olive Oatman's journey from enslavement to adoption. As we close this journey through prehistoric times, one lesson stands out. Our humanity is defined by how we treat those who are different. The stories of captive women, whether they found belonging, fought for freedom, or bridged worlds, remind us that even in the harshest times, compassion and connection were possible. These ancient tribes, with their rituals and struggles, laid the foundation for our societies. Today, as we face division and displacement, let's remember that every stranger carries the potential to enrich our world, just as captives did millennia ago. So what's next? If you're fascinated by the untold stories of our past, hit that subscribe button and let us know in the comments which prehistoric era or culture you want to explore. Until then, keep searching for the truths buried in time.